Hey there, I went to see the Avengers yesterday, and since I have not been in a cinema since James Cameron's Avatar, I figured this was worthy enough of an opportunity to make a vlog, well, a quick one at least. Well, let's get started. This movie had been quite built up to me by certain online critics, and that made me expect a lot going in, which made the beginning of the movie feel like smashing into a wall. The movie basically starts out in Act 2 already. Now, some might say that this is because the previous movies, to which this is a sequel, did establish things, but sadly, I have not watched any of those movies. Besides, how silly can you be to expect every person who went to see your movie to have watched 5 previous ones? I only know about some of these superheroes because I watched certain cartoons and played certain video games. So that's the extent of my experience, and let me tell you, it did not help all that much. But about halfway through the movie, it basically begins to go a little smoother. You don't understand everything, but your brain is so desperate to understand things that it tries putting everything into cliches. You can tell who the bad guy is, you know who the good guys are, and you also know what the MacGuffin thingy is. And that's the plot. It's generic, yeah, but how else would I comprehend this movie? I don't think I could, and besides, I don't think anyone could squeeze all this stuff into one movie in any better way. This isn't Citizen Kane, this isn't some super meaningful story to change your views on life. It's just a fun, action-packed summer blockbuster. But it comes off as a little more than that, seeing how ambitious it is. I mean, a crossover of several movies that had mixed successes, that's a pretty risky undertaking after all. But in the end, it paid off all the way. You might, like me, enter it scratching your head, feeling confused, but by the end of the movie, you'll know what's going on. For the most part. It's as if you picked up a comic book series starting from an issue in the middle, which I guess is a great effect for a comic book movie. One last thing I have to mention is that the cast is surprisingly likable. I mean, I don't mean cast, I mean the main heroes. Even in my favorite movies, shows, or video games, where there's a big cast of protagonists, it's very rare that I like every single character, which is the case here. Whenever it's the Boy Scout Captain America, the cool hip playboy millionaire Tony Stark, the gentle Dr. Banner, or the rough Black Widow, everyone is different and yet equal. Each of the heroes has strengths and weaknesses, which will come to use during the big epic battle at the end of the movie. Well, I'm not saying all of this worked perfectly, but when it comes to movies who try to make every hero look equally strong, I know a lot of productions that have tried this, and most of them did not even accomplish 10% of what the Avengers accomplished, so my congratulations. Yeah. Well, my final verdict for the Avengers movie is basically, if you like action flicks at all, you have to see this. Just don't be too surprised if, in case you also have not watched any of the previous movies, then the movie will be really confusing at first. But trust me, just sit through it, it's worth it, and that's it. I'm going back to work on my numerous projects for this summer. See ya, people.